This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Tuesday? It is the Joe Gaither Show. You guys are hanging out with us in the Derry Daniel State Farm Studios on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. We appreciate everybody who's checking us out. Subscribe, rate, and review the show wherever they get the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. We are happy to bring you Tuesday edition of the show. First things first, you may notice that this is coming to you an hour or 2 hours later, 3 hours later than you normally get it. That is because we were over at the Alabama Athletics facility today to watch 20 minutes of practice or so. Thank you so much, Kalen DeBoer, for having us over at the facility to let us watch Keelan Russell throw the football, Ty Simpson, Austin Mack throw the football. I think I have seen the biggest defensive back in my entire life in one Dijon Lee. It was fun. It was great. So that's why the show's coming to you a little bit behind schedule, but it's all right. We're here on a Tuesday in the Derry Daniel State Farm Studio Alabama with you. As always, we invite you to come in on the comment section at Joe Gaither 6. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube right there, or you can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I know my man Dax has left us a voicemail, so we will get to that in just a little bit. He is going to lead us into our topic on Jalen Milroe. I want to revisit what we talked about yesterday with Theo Fernandez. You follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez __ on the Twitter machine. We talked a good, Theo and I we went 90 minutes yesterday. My man said, I don't care about going to class. We can just keep going. I said, okay, roll tide. So we're going to have a lot of fun on a Tuesday, revisiting some of the topics with Mason, but moving us forward, talking Alabama football, what we saw at practice today. Oh, man, but we probably need to start with Mohamoud Dioubate, as that was one of our topics yesterday, crying about him departing Alabama. And now we're with Mason Woods. You follow Mason Woods at MAWoods _. How are you, sir? Happy Tuesday. Thanks for the audible today. How are we feeling, sir?
Well, I was doing okay until that was brought right back into the forefront of my mind, and I'm right back hurt. It just got Kentucky. Of all teams, I just don't. I don't know. You went 3-0. You go 3-0 against this Kentucky team, Mod, in your career here at Alabama. Why are you taking this step down? You downgrade. He is downgrading. Mohamoud Dioubate, you are downgrading.
Is he?
Yes.
I mean, sure. In current standings, sure. But let's put our thinking caps on real quick. Why do you think he went to Kentucky?
Oh, it's money.
But yes. 1,000%. Big Blue Nation says, how can we hurt one of the best teams in our conference? Who do we want?
I don't know. I'm not his agent. I didn't talk to him. I would venture a guess as to say there were options outside of the SEC offering him similar prospects.
Maybe, but I think Big Blue Nation's desperation is almost like Ohio State's was a year ago when they paid, $13 million in the transfer portal for all kinds of players.
This is possible.
I think that their desperation is really, really, really stinky high. Like, it smells to high heaven. The desperation is that. And I think...
So at the end of the day, can't be that mad.
Yeah, all right. But I'm not happy with it. I mean, can't be that mad. What I want... this takes us to the evergreen topic. This is what's killing college athletics.
Yeah.
I follow Mo Dioubate for 2 years. I fall in love with him for 2 years. I have, for 2 decades, thought, wow, if only Alabama can take down Kentucky. Wow, if only Alabama can eclipse them. And yeah. And now the last 3 to 4 years, you could make an argument that Alabama has eclipsed Kentucky just in the current standing, not all the time.
Historically,
sure. But then you're going to do this to me? Modi, we have all banded together to take down Big Blue Nation. but then you're going to jump ship and just it just breaks my heart. It makes it very icky to me as far as college athletics, where we are. I guess I'll be much less emotional about this if you went to St. John's, if you went to, USF, if you
Sure.
went to anywhere, Rutgers, if you go to even South Carolina, like there are a few I saw on the Twitter machine. Oh, he didn't go to Auburn or Kentucky, so I'm happy. That's okay. Good luck to you. And yes, I do say good luck to you, Mo D. But you can go. You can't go to Auburn. You can't go to Kentucky or Tennessee, Kentucky or Arkansas. Those are the four right there. If you go to those four schools, I'm going to say bleep you, dude.
Mhm.
Seriously, bleep you. Like I hate that. I hate that college athletics is turning into this because we should be loving Mo D for another 2 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's oh man, it's just it's a sad state right now where we are at with college athletics, with the just free for all on everything. There's no sort of structure anywhere, and I know it's been this way for a while. And I know that for a long time I would turn a blind eye to the potential of this down the road, thinking it'll be okay. It's just early, it's fine. But here we are, 5 years down the road now, and it's the worst that it has ever been with the free agency. The just free for all. Anybody goes anywhere they want, as many times as they want, and nobody has any repercussions for anything. It's just ridiculous. I still think it all kind of boils down to, like we've talked about a lot of times on this show, it is more an issue with the transfer portal itself than I guess the NIL aspect of things. I still don't love that it's just a bidding war for players, but without the transfer portal in its current state, you would not be able to have that bidding war. So it's kind of the crux of all of our issues here. I do not and never will have problems with players making money. They deserve every penny they get because someone is willing to pay them that money. I just don't like the bidding war aspect of things.
Well, it's the poaching Kentucky, you got money, you're going to go spend it, great. What you need to do, Kentucky, is go to Weber State, whatever you want to do. Go to Cleveland State, go to whoever, Bowling Green, go to these smaller schools and be like, man, this dude was a baller. We want to get him on our. I got a problem with, I just want to buy a player off your roster. I don't because one, it benefits me, Kentucky, but it also hurts you, Alabama. I just want to buy a player off your roster. I just want what I have heard.
Gotten this guy. You seen this gentleman, Jamal Gibson?
No.
26-year-old freshman.
Is he a military man?
No, he didn't go to college. He graduated high school, pursued a career in tattooing, was a tattoo artist for a while. And I don't know exactly how he found himself mixed up with some sort of organized basketball thing, but they were in some tournament somewhere. And he gets seen by a coach, spends 2 years in NAIA, was the NAIA player of the year the last 2 years, and now he's transferred to New Orleans University in the Big South, which they were terrible last year, probably will be bad again. But 26-year-old college freshman, did watch his highlights. They are very impressive, given he was playing in NAIA and he's 6 years older than everyone on the court. But man, just I don't know. Like I'm with you. I hate the poaching of someone else's roster, someone right in your backyard like this. Do your due diligence and find your diamonds in the rough. Don't go steal someone else's players that they've developed.
Developed is a great point there, because what was Mo D 30 months ago, 28 months ago or so, when he was leaving high school, coming to Tuscaloosa? My man, look, your shot is still not very pretty, Mo, but it was hitting this year. So great, keep it up with that. You had an ugly ass shot that wasn't hitting. The only asset that he came to Tuscaloosa with was effort. And great, thank you. The best asset you could have.
Yeah. That's what kept him here. I mean, that is the only thing that kept him here. Like you said, his shot was bad. He was not a fit for what this basketball team is really trying to do. He couldn't really score that well. He wasn't overly large, but the effort kept him here. The intensity that he always had every time he stepped on the floor, the hard hat mentality that Nate Oates constantly preaches, that is what kept Mo D here. And now all of that just gets tossed to Mark Pope in Kentucky for a check.
Yeah, so what I did a little reading or heard was, okay, Modi wants more money from Alabama. Here's the number we've got for you. That's not good enough for me. I want more opportunity. I mean, you cannot overpay for a 6-man. Sorry,
Just is what it is.
right? And like you could throw Modi in your starting lineup and just say he's a starter, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He is the best 6-man that you could have, and what a role you need that.
He was awesome.
So I think that it's a combination of I want more money, I want more minutes. Okay, well that means I have to depart. Oh, we've got all the money in the world. We would love to bring some blue collar into Big Blue Nation.
Mm-hmm. This makes me think of, with revenue sharing going into effect, what is the
oh my gosh, how complicated that's going to be.
What is the split between football and basketball for next year looking like? How much of the basketball budget was Modi looking to try to take up, and how much did they kind of have to play both sides and think, is this really good value for what we're paying? Because I'm sure that's a part of it, and I'm sure Nate Oates and Greg Byrne and Kalen DeBoer are having these conversations. I don't know if they're all in the same room together. Probably not. I would imagine it get a little heated. But I'm sure they're all having conversations about these things. And I'm not going to sit here and say that football will get the most of the money. Football will get the largest chunk of the money, probably by a pretty wide margin. And rightfully so. They have the championship trophy to show for it. It's just, it's unfortunate that Alabama is now missing out on a player because of a money thing. Now, like you say, it can't overpay for a 6-man, but it just sucks. It's because it is just purely a money thing. If we are to believe what we've heard.
Heartbreaking to me. And
did you see Greg Byrne? Oh,
go ahead. No.
You see Greg Byrne and Nate Oates on the plane. It was you think that was a little performative?
Yes, 100%.
I think he took that picture, and then very quickly the two of them walked up to first class and took their seats.
No. I mean maybe. I've the last
they got
time,
off the plane onto the private jet. Actually,
that's right. Oh yeah. Heartbreaking to say. It will make me if I spent next look, Juwan Gary transfers out and goes to Nebraska. I never think about him again.
I haven't thought about him until I saw all the senior night stuff this year.
And you think, wow, great,
awesome,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But when Mo D comes in here next year,
it's on site.
I'm sorry, I know it's not Auburn. I know it's not Tennessee.
I will yell mean things at you, Mo D.
Yes,
and you brought this upon yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself.
I'm not
you just
I cannot calculate. I can't calculate what the loyalty does. Like you think about Dante Hall, think about Trevor Relaford, think about Jamichael Green, who actually did make it in the NBA. But give me 10 different names of guys who didn't make it in the NBA but lasted 3 or 4 years here. John Petty, perfect. You just say these names and it's just all warm fuzzy feelings in your heart. And I'm sure that player XYZ needs a job. Something's happened in his life. He needs a favor or needs this matters.
Yes.
And maybe Kentucky, you can't calculate it. And maybe Kentucky will do that for you, Modi.
There's probably a lot of connections there.
But what if this 1 year doesn't work out? What if, it's not a fit and you end up having to transfer out again? And I'm sorry, you could have been bad here next year. You could have. Yeah. The Alabama fan base will give you the grace to work through. I don't know.
You had already earned the love from the Alabama fans. You didn't have to continue to do anything. You could have gone out and you could have been the worst player on the team next year, and everybody in Tuscaloosa still loves you.
That Grand Canyon game. Oh man, remember that would be. Well, Mo had a bad night. Yeah, but remember that Grand Canyon game. Yeah,
it's just now all of that is gone. Sure, fans will still remember the time you spent here fondly, but they do not have that same love for you anymore. It is all gone now. I will be rooting for you to succeed, sure, but I will not be rooting for you personally. I don't hope anything bad happens to you, but I'm not a Mo D fan anymore.
Yeah, that breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on the same track, I think more people are on your side of the Rylan Griffin thing than not. I post yesterday after Rylan goes on Instagram, basically reposting Latrell Wrightsel's like "I'm back" kind of thing, and he kind of gives them a yeah. I don't know. It wasn't like very effusive, but I think it was like
let's get it, or
let's
something
get
like
it,
that.
or we bleed together. I know there's like a little blood emoji. Okay, great. But basically, high five Latrell, it's coming back. And tea leaves, if you're really into connecting dots, you might think that means Rylan Griffin, is returning here. So we put it on the social media. Hey, what do you think about this? And there was a ton of people in the comments at Joe Gaither 6 on the Twitter machine that gave, nope, don't want him back. Nope, bad attitude. Nope, overrated. Nope, just once you're gone, get out of here kind of thing. Am I just in the minority? Come on now.
My favorite response to this, and you responded to it directly, is just,
oh, yes.
I don't care either way. Okay.
So what am I supposed to? Why did you comment?
Why did you comment? Obviously, you care about something. I just think that, and this is a little bit of an emotional thing. Like it's an emotional. I don't like the way he exited Alabama, and I am still upset about it. So I do not want him back on the team. And I think a lot of people just share that same sentiment. I think, especially with Alabama, just the fan base here is mostly people from the South who do not take very kindly to people thinking they're better than them and thinking, I'm too good for being down here. And I think that's kind of the attitude Rylan left with was, I'm too good for Alabama. I need to go somewhere like a blue blood, a real blue blood like Kansas. And I think that just rubs a lot of people the wrong way because it hits on a lot of things.
But they are a real blue blood.
Where'd that get them?
That's the...
Where'd that get them, Joe?
First round exit, losing to Arkansas in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Didn't mean sugar honey iced tea.
You almost went there. Come on. You can just go rock, chalk, Jayhawk, K.
That does nothing for me.
And it just gets my loins going.
Yeah,
yes.
It does nothing for me.
Over and over. Just like the LSU. Oh, you suck. Before the game, just the Fog Allen Fieldhouse, James Naismith, the home of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't Bill Self there, I would really like him because I do not like Bill Self. I think Bill Self is everything that you're describing. Very, very, very entitled. Very entitled. Bill Self, I don't think you'd be nearly as successful if you were anywhere else.
Yeah, Rylan basketball is probably a fine. Rylan Griffin is a fine basketball player. That's it. I mean, he was pretty good when he was here. Then he had a bad year this season.
Well, that's the thing. People, he had a bad year. It's like, yeah, because Bill Self is not a good coach.
Okay. And Bill Self has multiple national titles. Bill Self is not a bad basketball coach.
Okay.
Let's just get this out of the way. Right. He is one of the best basketball coaches in the history of the sport. Rylan Griffin had a bad season this year. He has a pretty good season and a bad season. I'm not good at math, but that averages out to mediocre, right in the middle. I don't want mediocrity. Spend your money wisely.
Spend my dollar.
We just talked about not overpaying. What, are you going to go pay someone who was worse than Mo D last year more money? Because I know he's not coming here for cheap because he's already got that attitude.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want it.
We can't convince him to come to the NATO's rehab clinic on the sheep.
No, thanks.
Hey, brother, you made a bad choice.
Why don't you go transfer to North Carolina? You need a real blue blood, Rylan. Go to Duke. Oh, they don't want you. You suck.
Yeah, Duke does not want you, Rylan.
None of them do. There's a reason he's leaving.
Maybe my sentiment is just length on the perimeter, defending on the perimeter. I'm just brokenhearted over Mo.
Yeah,
looking for any fan favorite to return, and plus it's the Rylan Griffin wrestling aspect.
We talk about Mo losing. Rylan Griffin has burned every one of those bridges. He is that any bit of fan love for him is absolutely so. There's no.
I noticed that
there is no. Oh, well, we missed you, buddy. No. He burned those bridges himself by the way that he exited the team.
These comments were pretty not awful, but relatively spicy. Let's find it. I actually did pretty decent on Twitter yesterday. So, okay, yeah, there we go. Let's see. Do you want Rylan Griffin back? Here we go. Just a myriad. I want what's best for him. Great. If you say no, you don't know ball. Nah, you leave, you're gone. Good God, no. And he says, this person says they're friends, talking about Latrell and Rylan. No, from Greg Schultz. Come home, Jonathan Powell. Nah, we're looking forward, but not back. We've seen that movie. I don't care either way. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you, but that's very strange to comment. I don't care either way. Just don't comment. It's fine. Absolutely. Walter hated seeing him leave, but not sure I'd be thrilled if he returned. All kinds of stuff. Yes, I'd love to have him back. Mardi Gras, my man Philip, don't miss him.
I love. Why would you not? Played very well in 23. That was 2 years ago. What about 24? We just ignoring the bad season?
Yeah, because it's at Kansas, and Bill Self brought in a bunch of misfit toys that didn't fit together. I mean, you're dealing with Tunner Dickinson, who's already doing his nonsense on the social medias and Twitters and stuff. Yes, he really does. You are not an NBA basketball player, and you are squeezing every little bit of juice that you can out of this, which that's fine, but I'm at the point of annoyance. You've annoyed me.
How long do you think he hits the alt-right pipeline and he starts shilling for crypto or something?
Well, I don't know, based off his interaction with Field of 68 the other day, really taking a dump on Barstool.
Yeah, it was funny. That was
crazy. They handled that so bad.
Yeah, that was
they handled that so bad.
I listened to, and I'm not a frequent listener of the show that he was, I think, talking about mostly sports, the one with Mark Titus.
Yeah.
I did listen to the episode where they kind of addressed it, and it was just really funny because Mark Titus is in San Antonio, and he was like, I'm going to see Jeff Goodman tonight, and he's going to act like nothing happened, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, you man, it's just, it was just very funny. They did not handle it well at all.
Ooh. All right, where are we at in our rundown? We've hit Modi to Kentucky. We hit Rylan Griffin, re-stirred up. I gave you a ton of notes. What you want to go to next? Do we want to go to Dax's voicemail?
Yeah, let's hit the voicemail. I think this will take us to the next topic nicely.
That's perfect. All right, we're going to the voicemail line. You guys can call in on the voicemail line. Leave us a voicemail like our friend Dax, 205-462-7340, extension 800. I had a lot of fun on Saturday night with Dax up at New Era Wrestling. So I think, what was it? May 5th, is that the next one? May 10th. So
that's what they said.
Well, we were going to figure out when the next one is and get that out to you guys. But Dax joined us on Saturday up at Jasper. And here he is on the voicemail line. So you can call us. Be like Dax, 205-462-7340, extension 800.
Is Dax. First off, I want to say, had a great time at the New Era Wrestling event. That was such a good time, dude. Just being able to scream and at the top of my lungs at anybody and nobody cared. Oh, it was a blast. I urge anybody listening to this to just go out and check out one of these New Era Wrestling matches because, I had such a blast. All right, so on to the real topic. I was listening on Spotify to Mr. Joe and Mr. Theo talking about Jalen Milroe in the draft, and honestly, I have to say I agree with Theo on this one. Jalen Milroe has an ability that only God can give someone.
That's true.
He can work on the throwing later. Honestly, I don't know how much time he has to work on the throwing, but he can. Throwing is something that he can improve on. It's a mental thing. You can see that Jalen Milroe's confidence is just completely shot if the game don't start off well for him. But keep in mind, this man can escape any situation. It looks like he's faster than any player on the field when he actually gets up to top speed. But those are my thoughts on the Jalen Milroe draft situation. I, too, like Theo, really strongly feel that he is going to go in the first round just because of that God-given ability that he has that hardly anybody else in this entire draft class has. So, those are my thoughts. Also, Keelan Russell, number 2 quarterback for the season. We're going to see him in garbage time, and I cannot wait. Roll Tide.
That's my man Dax chiming in on the voicemail line, talking about Jalen Milroe. All right, Mason, you weren't here yesterday, but I know you spent all day listening to the show over and over and over and over and over again. You're the only reason we have any downloads on Monday, so I appreciate that. You heard Theo and I talk We set it up. He's invited to the draft. Jalen Milroe was invited to Green Bay for the draft. He's apparently accepting his invitation to the draft. And we go, connect the dots. It must be the Steelers. The Steelers must be drafting him in the first round. Somebody's told the NFL we're drafting him in the first round. At least that's the early part of the story, I think. We need him in the first round. Mm-hmm. And there's 3 or 4 different layers here. So let's start with Jalen and the first round stuff. I told Theo, there's no way I'm risking my job on that. And he's confident. I don't know what to say. He's confident.
No, I am not. I am not. I am not confident in that.
Were you surprised that he was invited to the draft in the first round?
Shocked. Shocked that he accepted also. Which that's really the only thing that gives me any bit of credence. It gives any bit of credence, at least in my opinion, to the first round. Like, I don't think he has done anything on the field. I don't think he's done anything since, in the pre-draft process that warrants him being a first-round selection. This tiny bit of evidence here, Jalen Milroe accepted to the draft and he is accepting the invite, is the only thing that leads me to believe he might be a first-round pick. And I am not willing to stake any bit of confidence on that because it's not enough. He is not skill-wise a first-round quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback skill-wise. Dax, I had a great time with you. Would love to, love to hear you on the show again. Love to get with you on another wrestling event. It was awesome, but I completely disagree with you. Maybe this is a hot take. I'm not even really that sure that Milroe is like this wild, amazing athlete that everyone talks. The guy runs kind of fast in a straight line.
A little more than kind of fast, but straight line is great.
I mean, he's not the. It takes him 30 yards to get to top speed, that's if he doesn't get touched because he can't make anybody miss. He is not this generational like athlete that I think people have billed him as, and you have to be that to overcome the deficiencies that he has.
Right. I threw 2 names at Theo, and he said, "Oh, you of course." He said, "Little unfair." I said, "Is he a better runner than Lamar Jackson?"
No.
I said, "Is he a better runner than Josh Allen?"
No.
And he, that's a little unfair. And I'm like, "But
that's the bar.
That's what we're talking about here." I said, "Is he a better runner than Jalen Hurts?"
No.
Like, you got to think about some of these running quarterbacks who are, hey, buddy. You got to your legs are how you're going to survive. We'll mix in about a dozen passes and we'll try to make them easy on you, rookie Lamar Jackson, and you will look good hitting these 9 passes. You go 9 for 12. People will say you can't throw, but we'll win, and you'll continue to learn the NFL. Like I don't think that Jalen can operate a 9 of 13.
Who was the worst quarterback? I mean, the worst quarterback in the NFL last year probably Anthony Richardson had the worst completion percentage. Jalen Milroe is not as good of a quarterback as Anthony Richardson is. He does not have the same skill running. He does not have the versatility running. He doesn't have as big of an arm. He has just as inaccurate of an arm, but he can't throw it as far. I do not think Jalen Milroe even reaches the bottom tier of NFL quarterbacks when we're talking about skill. And I hate to say that because I love what he did at Alabama. I'll rock that number 4 for a long time. I will remember you very fondly, Jalen. But you just aren't. You just aren't cut out for the league, in my opinion. Now, that opinion means nothing. I'm not qualified even to probably say it, but I've not seen anything that leads me to believe he will succeed in the NFL at quarterback. If some team can, like I said, for months now, create some sort of gadget package for him a la Taysom Hill, that's really, I think, his only chance at success.
So what is the NFL draft, Mason? What do you think it is? This is not a trick question. What do you think it is? Just as a entity.
Big TV event?
I was not even, I didn't set you up for that. I love you. Like, I cannot say how much I love you for that. We did not talk about that before. It's a TV show. It is a TV show.
Yeah, it is for our entertainment.
And
there was a long time where it was just a bunch of guys in a conference room all sitting around a round table saying, I'll take this guy. I'll take this guy. Mm-hmm. And then it got reported in your newspaper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, God, I love you so much. Thank you. So yesterday, Theo and
I'll
I
eat it up every year.
Oh, I'm watching it. I am planning a menu in my brain.
Yeah.
I got to make some homemade pizza. My Bears podcast buddy said, "Buddy, I was like trying to complicate the menu. He goes, pizza and wings, bro. That's easy." And I was like, okay, probably. I'll be watching it the entire, even on Saturday when it's just like names across a ticker. I'm gonna be sitting there like, all right, we're up in 10 picks. We're up in 10 picks. Here we go. Who are we gonna get?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, Mason, we decided or said the Jalen Milroe invitation means he's going in the first round. Duh. The day swirls, and I am wondering if it means something else. People, the NFL doesn't want to have another Will Levis situation. They want to see Jalen Milroe walk across the aisle on Thursday night, hug Roger Goodell, get the Jets jersey, the Steelers jersey, the whoever jersey.
You know what meme you still see every day on Twitter?
Brady Quinn?
Will Levis sitting in the green room waiting. The NFL, I think, absolutely wants another one of those.
I can think Brady Quinn off the top of my head.
You threw how many EJ Manuel,
EJ Manuel
started.
Christian Ponder waited a second, didn't he? Aaron Rodgers.
God, that's like the biggest one ever.
This is gold.
I mean, you remember Johnny Manziel waiting?
It's TV gold.
All you heard about was who's going to take this quarterback? What team could be available to take this quarterback? Where's this quarterback going to go? Who wants this quarterback?
Jalen, don't do this to people.
Don't let them make you their puppet.
Yes. Like everything I said 5 minutes ago was about you as a player, but I really like you. Every interaction we've ever had has been extremely positive, even after you've lost. You've been very good to talk to, despite frustrations. Understandable. Don't let them do this to you. Because even after the news yesterday, he gets invited. I thought, there is no bleeping way.
It was so shocking to me.
There is no way. I am not staking my job on Jalen Milroe as a first round draft pick. Man, I get him in the second round. If he falls to the right situation, great. I'll give you a chance. But like, that is a fireable offense in 2 years if he doesn't work out. Jalen, man, people have made narratives about you for 4 years, and every little thing you do is, well, this means that, and this means this, and look, we've been doing it the last 10 minutes here. Do not give them more fuel. Be it Houston. I'm pretty sure he's right outside of Houston.
Katy, Texas.
Katy, yes, thank you. But I think that's 45 minutes north of Houston.
It's
great.
Right close to it, yeah.
Go to Katy, be with mom and dad, get girlfriend, get brother, sister, mother, grandma all together. And like, if you get drafted in the first round, take your phone call and get your hat on and go, I don't know, man. I think it's
I'm with you 1,000%.
And now this is just Joe being Joe. If you don't get drafted in the first round, you're spending the night in Green Bay. You're going up to Green Bay to watch 32 other people who get drafted. You can spend the night and think, well, dang, now I got to go back tomorrow and be made a fool of. I don't like it. I don't like it. If I were in his camp, which clearly I'm not, I'd be like, brother, I would really encourage you to rethink this.
Yeah, I think the reward is not really worth anything here. The
Jalen wants the photo. Jalen wants the photo getting the jersey with Roger Goodell.
Sure.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. But the flip side of that coin is you're made a laughing stock on television and on the internet, and people make fun of you for years. And here we are 3 years later, whatever it is, your meme is still getting thrown around there like Will Levis is. It's just. Was
it Deshaun Kaiser who slipped from the Notre Dame going to the second round of the Cleveland Browns? Like these names, there's no reason I should remember Deshaun Kaiser's name.
Yeah, don't do this, Jalen. Look, again, we're not in your camp. Maybe you have gotten some very good intel from an NFL team that is certain, and you feel really good about it. Maybe that is the case, but unless that is the case, not a chance I'd show up to this.
Jordan Schultz reports that his private workouts, Milroe's private workouts with the Saints and Browns, were described as impressive. Okay.
That was probably a sentence that was like,
If I'm Jalen, though, I'd love to go to the Saints. They got an decent little offensive line. Got themselves.
Hang out in New Orleans, man. New Orleans is like the best city in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I love New Orleans.
I'd be so fat if I lived in New Orleans. I'd be broke and fat. I'm already broke, but I'd be broker and fatter in New Orleans. All right, I think I've exhausted this. You got anything else? I mean, I just think that at first we thought the story was going to be really positive. Of course, he's a first-round draft pick, but I think that there might be some nefarious motives from the NFL. We need to get our sacrificial lamb for our TV moment, and Jalen, don't do it.
Yeah, I hate that. I sincerely hope that is not the case for Jalen. I don't want to see that happen to him because, like you said, I've never spoken to Jalen personally, but it seems like by all accounts he is a great guy. Seems like he's really good to be around, really enjoyable person to be with. I don't want to see him made a mockery of.
Yes, that part. No matter if you're a great quarterback or not, whatever. He at least deserves
respect.
Respect.
I mean, he deserves decency and so a little bit of humanity here. I understand we're trying to get eyes on our product, but let's not act like the NFL draft isn't already one of the most watched things every year.
All right, Mason, I know I have about 2 or 3 notes, and I know one of them is spring football practice. Was that the only other note I had written?
That's all I've got. But I did see this from Hunter, our friend Hunter Cyber, just a few minutes ago.
Give it to me.
ESPN's Jeff Borzello has Alabama basketball at number 11 in his way too early top 25, Auburn number 12. But more interestingly, includes currently undecided forwards Darian Reed and Jaron Stevenson in the projected starting lineup, but looks like he expects LeBaron Philon to enter the draft.
Yeah.
Now, I did see another mock draft this morning. I can't remember who it was from now, but it did not have LeBaron Philon getting selected in the first or second round. That is, I think 3 that I've seen in the last 2 weeks.
I think that's a really intriguing question because he's going to go through. He's going to do exactly what Jaron did last year. We're going to go through the draft process, and we'll go to the last possible second before I decide if I withdraw or stay.
I would do the same thing. I
sure,
think that's the right way. That's the smart way to handle things. You can get a feel for both.
Yeah,
you get as much information as you can in front of you.
I think if you make me bet right now, Alabama gets 2 of these 3 players back. I think that you're going to see Jaron and LeBaron back, and you're probably going to be telling Darian Reed good luck somewhere else. Not that you want to, no. But because of his choices and more money choices.
Mm-hmm. I think of all of the possible scenarios, that's probably my favorite one. I mean, obviously, getting them all 3 back would be the best, but I don't think that's realistic at all. So getting 2 of the 3, those 2 being Jaron and LeBaron, I think would be Jaron, LeBaron, Darian. I think that would be
rhythmic.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
I think
dun,
that would be your best, that'd be your best play there because, again, I think Darian Reed was great this year when he was on the court. I think he showed a lot of reasons why the NBA was talking about him at the beginning of the season as a first round selection. I just don't know. I think both sides didn't quite get what they wanted out of this season, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him leave.
All right. Let's see. I'm going through my likes, just making sure there's nothing. Oh, we didn't even talk about the game last night, the national championship game. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell everybody that we are proudly sponsored by Warren Tire and Auto. They've been a Tuscaloosa and University of Alabama staple since 1961. My man Russ Warren sponsors the program, and he is running both locations. We appreciate him so much. He is they're in the 3rd generation of ownership with Russ Warren. They've got 2 great locations to serve you, to get you in and out and back on the road. If you need tires, brakes, or alignment work, you can see them on 15th Street or call them right there at 205-759-5505. Or if you need any other automotive needs, engine work, oil change, front end work, anything like that, you can see them on the University Boulevard location. Call them at 205-758-2739. That's Warren Tire and Auto. We appreciate them sponsoring the program. Go see them today for all of your automotive needs.
Just a tiny bit of clarification on the our friend Hunter's tweet. Jeff Borzello did actually reply in there to the tweet and said, just clearing things up with this is not what he said, quote, anyone ranked inside the top 50 of ESPN's NBA draft ranking was considered gone as of now. So that's probably, LeBaron checked in at like 47, I think, the last time I checked those rankings. So that's why he was considered gone. I don't think that's Borzello really trying to project anything. I think it's just that was his hard cutoff there. Was anybody in that top 50? So, maybe just a little bit of clarification.
Perfect. Some Florida Gators. Oh, my gosh. Those Florida Gators became national champions last night, 65-63.
Can I be honest?
Sure.
I did not watch a second of this game.
Why not? I hope that you and Melissa were spending QT together.
Yeah, we watched our the season finale of The White Lotus.
Oh, okay.
10 out of 10 episode of television, by the way, if you have not watched that show.
I'm seeing just clips of that on the Twitter machine, and it looks very dramatic.
It's insane. There are not few television shows that genuinely have me like writhing in my seat and like, oh my God, like what is happening?
Did you watch Succession?
I haven't yet. Well, that's probably next on the list, though.
But as a media person, you'll lose your mind at it because it is just insane. So do I need to check out White Lotus? This was season 3?
This was season 3. And it's an anthology series, where like there is kind of one thing that ties everything together, but each season is different, So it's all based around this White Lotus resort. Each season is different at a different location of this resort, and all this crazy stuff happens, whatever. But great episode of TV. Didn't watch a second of this game. I mean, quite literally, not 1 second of it. It did not touch my TV.
Was it because you were more interested? I'm just asking. More interested in the White Lotus, not interested in this game, or trying to appease the wife?
I think a combination of the first two.
Sure.
I really, I like basketball. I knew this was just going to be kind of an ugly game that was not super pretty to watch.
Lowest scoring first half in like a dozen years.
Because that's the way Houston plays basketball. Oh. And I was not overly interested in watching that. I think I would have been much more interested in maybe Duke, Florida. That would have been high flying. You would have seen an NBA kind of closer to what the NBA is doing, maybe. But yeah, that, and also, I was very excited to watch this television show, and I couldn't wait any longer because, like you said, I was starting to see things online. And it was like, all right, we got to watch it.
It was all over the place. I didn't know the context, but if I did, I'd have been like, get this off my.
Yeah. So, we had to get it watched. But yeah, it was really, nothing about this game. The only thing that I guess moderately intrigued me was if Walter Clayton could continue his dominance, and it did not, from what I've seen, look like he did.
Yeah, 11 points for Walter Clayton, a little bit of struggle. Oh, my goodness. Is Todd Golden a great coach, or did he just roster-proof his coaching? Because I think that Florida team was so deep that it really was kind of like, Rolodex of plays this one, Rolodex of plays that one.
I think time will tell, right?
39 years old and you're already a national champion. God.
We'll have to see. We will have, and to think, if
NBA, y'all need him. Y'all need him today.
Not turned it around, I wonder what would have happened to our friend Todd Golden there. I heard something about some stuff and, rugs and sweeping. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, go on to the NBA. We don't need you here. Go take over JJ Redick as the next hotshot young coach in the NBA.
He drives me a little crazy. Todd Golden.
I don't believe that I like him very much as a person. Well, no, I know I don't like him very much as a person, but that's for other reasons outside of just
he's Bruce Pearl's Bruce Pearl's like he's not his kid, but he's like Bruce Pearl's like
he is a son of
nephew.
Yes, he's of the Bruce Pearl bloodline.
Yes, he is definitely like a nephew of the Pearl system.
Yeah, I'm just not huge on that. I don't know. I don't like him very much when I see press conferences or little interviews in mid game.
He's not. He does not operate with class.
Yeah,
which is like fine. That some people don't care about that, but like every single time that the microphone's in his face, he's like he's like talking like he's a hype man for them. Because we got the best team and we're the best players, and it's like they're okay. It's fine if your perspective. Y'all were the best team this year. I don't know. There's just something about Todd Golden that I feel like is missing. There's a little bit of I don't know. I just think entitled when I see him. I just feel. But you look at his roster. Not a single 5-star in the entire in the national championship game. I'm pretty sure I saw that they did it without a single top 100 recruit. which is kind of nuts that Handlockton didn't get as much praise in the recruiting, because I think Handlockton is very, very good. I think that really Condon is good. I mean, their front court was insane.
And then, there Oliver Rue stepping up next year, 7'9". You see him cutting down the nets on his flat feet.
I'm sorry, Oliver.
I hope his health is okay. I hope his heart is doing well.
Oh.
That's what I hope for Oliver Rue.
The thoughts that are in my head are not appropriate. It's like it's freak. But it's like, that's not nice. That's not. Come on, Joe. You don't be nice.
Life
don't
cannot
be
be easy at 7'9".
No.
I mean, you think has Florida made him any accommodations for his living space? Did they get him like a big house to live in or rent out or something? You've
got to get him like the double king size.
There's no way
extra long.
He's not fitting in a dorm room at Florida. I'll tell you that much.
That'd be insane.
I mean, genuinely, just driving. I mean, you gotta get big cars. You can't drive a normal car. You can't sit in normal seats. You can't sit at a desk in class.
He's in a lifted truck and he's just stepping into
it. Like that's got to be tough, man. I hope for his. Well, yeah, I don't. I hope for his sake he's good at basketball. Because
do you remember Kenny George? Was that his name? Kenny George, the kid who was at UNC Asheville. I think it was Kenny George.
Kenny George. Yeah, I do remember this guy. 7'7".
Huh.
Says somewhere between 7'7" and 7'9".
Barely played because he couldn't get up and down the court.
Mm-hmm. Weighed 370. This says.
Yikes. So Florida wins. All right, here's the silly thing to me that I want to talk about with this game. Since you listened yesterday, you heard this, right? In the middle of the show yesterday, I'm talking about the game, and I'm thinking, when Houston wins tonight, it's not going to mean anything about the SEC. And we're sitting here, 12 minutes left to play in the game, and you're seeing all kinds of messages. You're seeing all kinds of tweets. You're seeing, well, the SEC sucks. Well, the SEC sucks. And okay, fine. But at the end of the game, when Florida wins, like, it doesn't mean anything either.
No, it does not mean that, the SEC is the best. It means Florida was better than Houston. And that's where it ends. That's where you draw your lines there. Florida, this basketball team, was better than Houston, this basketball team.
In a 2-point game. We're going to use it as a referendum on a conference.
What are we doing, people? Oh, that is like the in like SEC sports or college sports discourse. That is the like LeBron GOAT debate. That's the just go to like, well, the SEC's overrated or the SEC's really good. It's just like your knee-jerk reaction to anything. It means nothing. The debate is useless. You saw, did you see the tweet? And it was, I think, Alexander Ovechkin broke the goal record this week, which is cool for him. I don't watch hockey. I wish I did. I know that probably sounds weird because I could just watch hockey, but for whatever reason, I can't. I just don't do it. I don't know why.
Have you seen him do that? Doing that before every game. Bands that make good dance.
I love his penguin belly slide. That was great. And then showing up to the bar and immediately getting handed 2 beers. I saw that too. But ESPN the next day, I think, had PK Subban on the panel to obviously discuss hockey, and it just devolved into like, what does this mean for LeBron's legacy? It's like, how have we gotten here, people? What are we doing? This is how I feel about the SEC overrated or SEC whatever. That's how I feel about that argument. I'm so sick of it. It's so dumb and baseless.
Right. Like, I get told all the time I'm biased. Fine. I live in Alabama. I cover an SEC school. And bias is natural. But I don't know how you can see it a league that gets one team to the national title, gets 2 teams to the Final Four, gets how many in the Elite Eight? Was it 5, 4?
No.
Gets 7 in the Sweet 16. Like, and the immediate answer is, you paid for 14 spots. You're gonna get that many. It's like, okay, like you can't even. Like the conversation is over. The conversation is. You're right. You cannot look at what has happened and say, "Yeah, I was pretty good."
No, that doesn't. It has to be either this was the greatest thing you've ever seen, or it's a piece of garbage and you hate it.
0 or 100. I cannot stand it. I did feel bad for Kelvin Sampson, but like,
it's watching us. Like I said, didn't watch any of the game last night. woke up this morning.
This is what happens when you recruit 13 street fighters and no basketball players.
The view of him just standing there, hands on his hips, watching that final 8 seconds or whatever it is tick down while his team scrambles for a loose ball because his player tried to shoot it and then decided in the air, no, I'm just going to drop it. It was like he just froze. And yeah, I do feel a little bad for him because, like, man, you were right there. I don't know if I'm sure it'll be close, but getting right there, that's really hard to do.
Up 12, time ticking away in the half. Not good. Kelvin Sampson.
What do you think he said in the locker room after that?
What do you say?
I mean, honestly.
Well, you don't say anything. You just, well, guys, you suck.
It was a good season. Thank you.
They're
go cry.
Yeah, they're up 10 with 15 minutes to play. And, Florida, hard. You got to give Florida a lot of credit. Now, I did see this. This was from a friend of mine who texted me because I was, like, kind of marveling at the officiating disparity. They go, since you didn't watch, the officials called 4 total fouls in the first half. 3 on Houston, 1 on Florida.
In a championship game?
Does that sound like any Houston game you've ever watched?
Huh?
Any Houston game you've ever watched?
Excuse me?
They only fouled 3 times in 20 minutes? Oh, okay.
Are we in the Twilight Zone?
And so I get a friend of mine listens to the show. He's going to enjoy this message. He's like, smart of flip. Because what ended up happening was the first 8 to 12 minutes of the second half, they called 17 total fouls. It was like 11 on one team, 6 on the other. It was like the exact opposite. And my friend's comment was smart of Florida to come out of the half and just hard foul the heck out of them. Just so the officials were like, okay, we got to control this a little bit and start to.
That is pretty. Yeah, if that was part of Todd Golden right there, I'll give him a little credit on that.
So
good game plan there.
All right, Todd Golden, great job. We'll see how you follow it up next year. One shining moment. Is that the best 3 minutes in sports?
I do love it so much every year.
No, I'm an emotional person anyways. And usually a good song, a nice iconic song will take me there into my feels. But you throw the iconic song with the emotion and pageantry of the tournament. And by the end of that 3 minutes, I'm definitely shedding 2 or 3 tears.
Oh,
for sure.
Man, yeah. It's so good.
Period. Every time.
It just, there are so many games in this tournament. And, it's very easy to forget about the small little moments and things that happen. And that video every year does such a great job of just reminding, like, oh, man, I remember when that guy hit that 3, or, oh, I remember that steal. I remember that dunk. I remember that fan, whatever it is. I love it. It just I need that as something that I can take as a pill every morning. The one shining moment in pill form. That's what I need.
The ball is tipped.
So good.
Oh.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna listen to it on the car on the way home.
Yeah, the tournament is not over until One Shining Moment is aired and done with. So every year at my house, that's how it was. But I'll tell you, last year, watching One Shining Moment on the floor was wild.
Oh, yeah.
It was wild because the UConn players were watching it too, kind of right off the side of us. And when they would show up on the what a CBS. Well done.
Good on you.
Well done. Nice to see Mark Sears and the 3-point barrage in the One Shining Moment last night montage for the Crimson Tide.
Would have liked to maybe see the Grant Nelson block on Cooper Flag.
Ooh, yeah, but we can't.
It's okay.
We can't.
They did lose by 20.
We can't let the Golden Boy look bad. All right, let's start talking about some spring football real quick.
So my name is Russ Warren, and I'm one of the owners here at Warren Tire. We started in 1961. My granddad on University Boulevard, so we've been kind of a staple here in the Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama community since then. And so thankful to be in the 3rd generation. And we have 2 locations now in Tuscaloosa. We're right here at the 15th Street location right now, where we just do tires, brakes, and alignments mostly here. Our university location does oil changes, engine work, air conditioning work, front end work, the whole 9 yards. And so any of our 2 locations, you can come check us out.
All right, let's talk about some spring football. Again, we invite you to comment on the show at JoeGaither6. You can send me a message on any social media machine there at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Or you can be like our man Dax and use the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. First thing I want to throw at you, Mason, one of my friends messaged me yesterday. I told her to leave a voicemail, but she goes, I'm afraid. But her message to me was, I don't see any hype for A-Day. I don't see any marketing for A-Day. You should talk about how there's no excitement. And and my first thought was, I see some. Maybe I was thinking about perspectives. Maybe my perspective is different than hers. Mm-hmm. I know that people. So, is there marketing for Saturday? Is there excitement for Saturday?
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like, was there? Did we advertise it a bunch last year, or the year before, or the year before that? I don't remember any. I remember it just always being. Yeah, everybody knows A-Day's in April, and they announce it, and everybody says, okay, that's what day it is. No one cares about A-Day that much. It's insane. I feel like I'm going crazy here. People, if you care about A-Day that much, stop. Take a step back. Like, nothing that you will see on that field will really have any consequence on this season. So just relax. Like, it's not that deep. It is a fabricated, a scripted event for fans to make them happy. Like, you are not watching any real football. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there are a lot of people who live and die by spring football. If you're one of those people, man, I strongly urge you to take a step back and just really evaluate what you're looking at. Because it's not that deep. It's just spring football. So I think there's ample advertising for A-Day for what it is. I don't.
I think they'd rather, like, A-Day is part of it, but I think the marketing is to be on campus for the day because it's Alabama versus who in baseball. It's Alabama, Oklahoma in softball. You've got all kinds of autograph opportunities over at the Paul Bryant Museum. I know that I know Bo Scarborough, Trent Richardson, several other former players will be there. We'll have captain ceremony, so Jalen Milroe is going to get his hands put in the cement. We'll over at Denny Chime. So that's all nice and well and good. And look, I love my friend, but I just didn't really think that. I was like, I don't know what marketing you're really wanting for a free event.
That's my thing. Is I just what do you tell me what you'd like to see?
So Jeff Allen is on Hey Coach last night, Alabama football trainer, and essentially says you're going back. Hey, we're not always right, but sometimes we are. Jeff Allen says what we've been saying. You will see more football. He says, you will see, he says, I think the fans will see something more of what they want to see on Saturday than if they had seen a traditional game. He says, fans don't get to see what practice looks like, what practice looks like, and they're going to enjoy that. So we're out at the practice today. That's why we came a little late on the program. We spent, 8:30 right to 9 or so. So we got about 20 minutes. We got 25 minutes on the practice field watching practice, watching indie drills. Great. Fun.
How many All-Americans are on the team, Joe?
How many players are on the team? 85, right? 85 scholarships. I know the scholarship limit is going to be different. We got to do some homework in the next 2 days, Mason, on scholarship limits because that's changing. Yeah. There's a huge court. We really just got to do a lot of homework on this court case that's happening in Washington.
Yeah, it's been one of those things where I've seen
I don't want to tackle it.
That is exactly where I'm at. It's, it's like taxes. I see it.
I know I need to read about it.
Man, I know I need to learn, but I cannot bring myself to do it.
Ross Dellinger.
It feels like a daunting task.
Ross Dellinger, just give me the information I need to know.
You know what we need to do? We need to hit up Reddit and just do the explain like I'm 5 and tell somebody to give us a rundown. Give it to me in bullet points. That I can digest.
Yeah, so we got to do some homework in the next 2 days. But no, how many players are on the team? 85. There's 85 All-Americans out there.
There we go.
85 All-Americans, the greatest team you ever seen. They're all in pads running through. You got the defensive lineman doing the punch. We're going to rip the ball out drill. You got your defensive back doing the punch, back pedal drill.
And look, I've never seen a team with the amount of skill and like just greatness that this Alabama squad has. look, I was there for 20 minutes, and I mean, I can tell you, they were unbelievably good.
Well, the blocking dummies were moving a lot further this year than they were moving last year. The blocking dummies last year weren't moving very much, but this year they're flying all over the field.
This is what you people sound like.
The blocking dummies.
Insane.
Oh, yeah.
It is crazy.
What do we see, Mason?
Nothing.
You can see it on
I'll
Bama
tell you right now.
You can see it on Bama Central's YouTube channel. I'm not lying. Like, this is real. The videos that I took, the videos that Katie Wyndham took, and the videos that Hunter DeCyber took and the Mason Woods took are right there on the Bama Central YouTube channel. And you can decide for yourself what you're seeing. What you're seeing is each now there are some cool things out, and that's what we'll talk about, the cool things to me. But what you're seeing is position group versus position group running circuit drills to warm up. Great. What's cool to me is the fact that I like the structure a lot. I like the structure, the way the practice is structured. Now seeing it for the second year, right? Seeing it for the second year, and kind of like, this is a tiny difference from Nick Saban, where you'll send the players through different circuits. The coaches stay at the same spot, and each position group gets eventual, interaction with said coach, doing said coach specific drill. That said coach is, hey, if this is, let's just say you're dropping back into coverage to, backpedal, breaking the ball, interception, right? Well, if it's Mo Linguist, we're going to, when the cornerbacks come up, it's going to be a 10-yard drop, and you're going to go away. But when the outside linebackers come up, it's a little 4-yard drop. And so it looks a little different, but the drill is the same. But everybody gets specific. A little bit catered to your position. Right. But like, the outside linebacker then gets to get coached on his back pedal by the defensive backs coach. And so it's like, this is like my area of expertise a little bit. And yes, the defensive back coach is not making him do a 15-yard drop. He's making him do a 5-yard drop. But it's like, I am looking at your, this specific skill that I actually kind of really know really well. And I can give you little tweaks and pointers. I think it's cool.
I like that. And
go ahead.
I think it's great. I think I have no problem. Like, we can sit here and just objectively observe what was seen at practice. That's fine. But it's just when, and I've already seen it this morning, when you see these projections.
All-American.
Oh, so-and-so. I can tell you right now, he looks like an All-American. Oh, he's going to be competing for a Heisman. Like, you cannot possibly know that by what you have seen. You are just making things up out of your head. And to me, that's just ridiculous. Like, let's just observe. Let's objectively speak about what we saw, and let's end it there. We don't have to project. We don't have to make things up and put them out there. It's just so insane. You see it every time there's any bit of availability for a practice like this. I go crazy over it. And the fans are like, well, tell me, like, they need to also understand that there's nothing to really grasp from this other than, here's some few minutes of video. Take what you want.
So it's great to be there.
Yeah.
So, but I think that I like the circuit style because it keeps the practice pace quick.
I had a football coach that tried to do that with a team.
You got to have a lot of coaches who are competent.
We had 4 coaches on staff.
It's not enough.
It simply was not enough. Yeah. It was a disaster. Guys were running into each other between drills.
Every circuit has a coach and like 8 GAs on it.
We looked like a field of chickens just running around. It was hilarious.
The other observation, there's a couple more observations for me, but the biggest thing, outside of the circuits that stood out to me was, I walked over towards linebackers, defensive backs. That's where I walked over towards, and man, it took me a second to realize, these are the inside linebackers.
These are not safeties.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. And that you can say, Joe, you're an idiot. You should have realized it right off the bat. But I did not see number 0. I did not see what's Jefferson wearing 11 this year.
11.
I did not see either of those two guys. And then I thought, who's the big dog in this group? Where's anybody in this group? And then I realized, 15, Duke Johnson. 36, Huey Reese. You're just going down the line. 41, Nakai Hill Green. 26, Luke Metz. I'm thinking to myself, oh, yeah, it was Caden Jones, Caden 30, right? Caden's a little bit big. Caden's listed 6'4", 230.
We know how listings can be.
I'll just say it. To me, I'm looking at the inside linebacker room without Deontay Lawson and without Justin Jefferson, and thought, ooh, a little small. You got Nikhai Hill-Green listed at 41. 41 is listed at 6'2", 235.
Yeah. I mean, I think you probably, in a perfect world, you're wanting those, 6'3", 6'4", close to that 250 range, maybe.
I just want nobody looked imposing.
Sure.
Now, granted, this is 20 minutes, so who cares what they look like? You didn't see them cracking skulls. I didn't. You saw them running through drills, doing form tackling, which great. You can. And
I mean, like you said right before you started, we didn't see the two main guys.
Exactly. And to that point, it was really jarring to me. I'm there with the linebackers. I'm there with the defensive backs. That was my first thought with the linebackers. And then I look at the defensive backs, and you see Zabian Brown, and Zabian looks like he's going to be a great, going to step into and be a good.
You're doing it.
I know. Sorry. Zabian, it looks like a great athlete, period. And then I'm like, who are the rest of these
guys? Who's that basketball player?
Right. Who are the rest of these guys? Of course, there's no Damani Jackson. My takeaways are, man, these young players are getting a lot of reps, and of course they'd be getting reps anyway in the line. But you're putting Dijon Lee 2, 3 in line, number 2, number 3 in line with Cam Calhoun, and I'll tell you, Cam Calhoun looks like a good athlete at cornerback. I think that you might have something right there. Transfer from Utah, because
I was excited when
I had to
he
go.
He was good. He was pretty good at Utah.
I had to go. That's not Jalen Mbakwe. Who the heck's wearing number 9? Flip it up, and I was like, oh, that Cam Cal. He looks good. So that my takeaways were all in the spring. It looks like a great opportunity for your Mets, for your Duke Johnsons, for your QB Reeses, for your Dijon Lees, for your Cam Calhouns. Of course, you'd like Damani to get 1% better, I'm sure. But to your point on A-Day, this spring practice, it certainly seems like spring practice has been all about developing youth.
I think that's what it should be for. I don't think you're really doing any real meaningful, I don't know, meaningful is the wrong word, but with a veteran player, I don't know that you're really making any meaningful strides in the spring. I think that's, those kinds of things are happening in the off season. Those kinds of things are happening in fall camp. With the young guys who are just now getting here, I think it's perfect because it gives them a, kind of lighter way to get their feet wet a little bit, where it's not exactly, this is not, in-season football. Everything has to be the most intense as possible. This is spring football where we maybe don't care quite as much. You get a little bit longer of a leash in spring football. I think it's great for young players. And I think that continues to reiterate my point of nothing you're seeing here really has any consequence on the season because they're actively trying to get players on the field who probably won't play a ton this year.
All right, so what we saw over there was Ryan Williams, Gino Vandermark, and Cole Adams all on bikes. Anything that we weren't really expecting last week when Coach DeBoer said that Ryan Williams probably done for the spring. Oh, we're all going to lose our mind.
Hamstring or something.
He called it maintenance, and he called it just keeping it healthy. We were in the facility last Thursday. I was not there for this because I showed up pretty much right on time, but people were talking, oh, Ryan was taken to a car, and I don't know that I believe that. What I don't know that. I don't know that. So look, I think it's fine. I think what we're doing in spring is just developing the roster. Get everybody as healthy as we can. Let's not run anybody off by saying these are the ones and you guys are all bums and fours and you all need to go find the portal. No, just develop this is, I hate to be this way, but this is a very high school, hey, there's no reason to ruin the seniors here. There's no reason to get the seniors busted up here. Let's make sure the freshmen all learn the plays, right? Ryan Williams knows the plays. Gino Vandermark knows the plays.
That's what I'm saying. I just there's not that much value in having all of your bona fide starters for the fall out there playing in the spring. It's just we talked about risk reward with Mo D. It's kind of the same thing. Like your reward there is minimal, but the risk of you injuring a Ryan Williams or someone else is is very real.
All right, so I did talk to someone who will not be named at the practice, and how's it going? And pretty positive report, and this fellow went straight to the quarterback. So thank you, sir. Thank you. I did not ask you that, but thank you. And dives in, basically what we've been saying. Dives in saying that each quarterback, Ty Simpson and Austin Mack, are given days. This is your day to start with the ones. This is your day to start with the ones. And Keelan, apparently his methodology, their method with him is just to sprinkle in. And he said, today's going to be an Austin Mack day. No. Oh, great. Thursday probably going to be a Simpson day. I think it's just like we have said for the last couple of weeks. It's Austin Mack and Ty Simpson running the team to basically in a small quarterback battle that Simpson is winning. There we go. But this fellow, he was very excited about Keelan Rudd. He said he can play. He's going to be
every time we hear about him, that seems to kind of be what shines through, is that underlying just childlike joy about his football skill.
All right, and so this fella I just lucked into this conversation, really. I just walked up and, hey, how you doing? Ends up basically volunteering one position of need in the transfer portal. He's talking about the quarterbacks, and then he's basically kind of talking about how the plan with the whole team is we really got to be thinking about the next portal, trying not to get people to go and leave in the portal. Yeah, I think that's why he was talking about Keelan getting his days, sprinkling them in, and making sure Matt gets his days, making sure Russell, making sure nobody leaves in the portal. And he wasn't just talking about quarterbacks, but it was about everybody.
Sure. And
I think you're seeing that now when everybody gets a chance. Everybody's a chance with the ones. Oh, Dijon Lee, here you are with the ones. Up, Dijon Lee, here you are with the fives. Like, everybody's mixing in. But he offered up one position that he thinks that Alabama needs, and it took me by surprise. He says, we got to go find somebody in the portal. And I thought, what? What you talking about? For what? What do you think? What position do you think he offered? It's a niche spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In the past, I've said tight end maybe. Okay, is it that tight end H-back kind of Robbie Oots?
We ain't got no blocking tight end.
Yep. We ain't got no Robbie Oots on this team.
That's exactly. And he goes, you don't know how much Robbie and CJ did for this. And I said, Robbie was a man.
We know very much.
I said,
believe me, on the Joe Gaither show, we know all about the blocking tight end.
Robbie Oots makes me,
that's a football player.
I said, well, we got some tight ends, we got, as we do. You got a handful of tight ends. Marshall Pritchett, who's a little dinged up right now. Oh, goodness. Caleb Edwards has not come to campus yet. Goodness gracious. You got Danny Lewis, tight end as well, receiving tight end. Who else am I missing? Oh, my gosh. Look at this. Yeah. Lane Wisenhunt, walk on. Peter Knudsen. I don't know anything about you, Peter Knudsen, but you transfer as well, I think, from Weber State. And then you, Danny Lewis, right.
I mean, it's
Jay
6'4",
Lindsey,
240, Peter. You might be our guy here. Come on.
Jay Lindsey, 6'5", 250. Come on, Jay. You need to step up. I know you're a fan of Marshall Pritchett. So, and then Peyton Fox is listed here as well. Looks like a walk-on. I don't know, but he said, we got to have a walking tight end.
Everybody needs one,
All right.
I think there's always a spot for that type of player on the team. I mean, you ask anybody, do you want a guy who doesn't care about getting the ball, but will get his hands dirty and hit some people? Oh yeah, sign him up. I'll take 50 of them.
It's like this fellow was like, yeah, because I was talking about Robbie and CJ with him and how effective they were, and just how I said, I hope an NFL team gives them a chance. And he said, well, CJ was here about a week ago, and we were talking, and I told him, just volunteer to play special teams, volunteer to do this. And I was like, they will. They will.
there's been many a great NFL player who cut their teeth on the special teams before they finally got their big break. I don't know really, I don't know what the prospects look like out there. Obviously, no one really does because the transfer portal will reopen and we will see who is there. I think the only thing, and it kind of goes back to our conversation from earlier, just don't overpay for this position. Don't go out and get some flashy name just because you can. Get somebody who is actually just going to be the player you need, and you don't have to pay him a ton.
I tell you, you do that, you're going to get John Brown tied in from Western Tech. And what's going to happen on the Twitter machine? Who's this? Why do we get him?
That's
we don't want. And it's like, that's exactly what you want the reaction to be.
Yeah.
I want just somebody who's go find my Miller Forrestal, who's going to, go find me my Baron Huber, a little more athletic than Baron. But
yeah, I think that'd be a good thing to go for if you don't feel if it doesn't sound like. And it doesn't sound like that they're super confident in the options that they have to play that role. Go get somebody. You're going to have the opportunity to.
This fellow said, "Yeah, I went and talked to Courtney." I said, "We gonna find a tight end?" He said, "Courtney said I'm trying." So they don't take that to mean anything, but just like an offhand comment, right?
Yeah, this is something I've never really considered, and you kind of brought it up with like the team recruiting itself to like. Not transfer out, the team having to work on it. So be like, hey guys, nobody transfer out, guys, please. Let's all stick together. And, I imagine that there is some inside meetings with groups of players and things like that. Maybe a la Nick Saban's leadership council where, you have a group of guys who are kind of tasked with, hey, I need you to keep these dudes in line because we can't be on them 24 hours a day.
I would say the leadership council definitely plays a part of that. I was mostly just meaning the way that they're handling practice as far as reps and opportunities of practice. Because you don't want to just make somebody, you're the first string guy and you're the fifth string guy. Well, shoot, I'm getting out of here. Nuggets fire Mike Malone. All right, great. Sorry, Mike. You'll be fine. Big time money.
Yeah, sure.
You'll be A-okay. Okay, so I don't know that I had that many more practice observations. The quarterbacks were on the opposite end from where I was. I had that nice little conversation with somebody random that I trust. And I think A-Day is going to be fun. Come to A-Day. Come. Seriously. Don't let it, because it's not a game, affect you. I think you will see, if you are passionate about Alabama football and you're, what are we going to see? We want to see these quarterbacks. I think you'll see plenty of the three quarterbacks. I think you'll see a lot of them.
You'll see them all exactly the same amount.
Yeah, and they'll all be throwing. Ty throws a go ball. Austin throws a go ball. Russell throws a go ball. And then we just Uno reverse style. Mm-hmm. Keelan Russell throws a hitch route. Mac throws a hitch route. Simpson throws a hitch route. And then Uno reverse again.
Yeah, I think we've been saying it for a while. You'll get to see more football.
So we will be back in the facility on Thursday. We will do some homework today on, this court case in Washington. That's really, really going to change a lot of things in college athletics. They're nailing down the rev share. They're nailing down the future scholarship issue. I think that what I saw yesterday that was encouraging to me, because big concern, the walk-on issue. They were just going to scrap all the walk-ons like in 2025, like next month. And so Alabama's roster of 120 goes to 85. And obviously you're going to add some scholarships. That's up for debate as well right now. But you're basically just you're not firing because it's not a job, but you're firing 20 sure. walk-ons from Alabama. The judge sounded like she wanted to have like a phasing out period. Like, hey, buddy, if you're Johnny Walk-On and you're a freshman, well, you're grandfathered in. But if you're Johnny Walk-On and you're a high school senior, sorry.
Mm-hmm. I think that would, if that's what it is, that certainly seems like a much better way to go about it, because it would have been unfortunate to see walk-ons just kind of get cast to the darkness like that. I do think, I don't really have an issue with the new scholarship thing. I know some people do, talking about like, well, now there's just no walk-ons. Some of the guys, not all of them, mind you, but a lot of those guys that would have been walk-ons now will be on scholarship. I don't understand why people are angry about that.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen initially.
Yeah, that's eventually, sure.
It'll get phased
your fringe
out.
players that are, guys that maybe shouldn't quite, or maybe won't be starters ever. Maybe those guys won't be playing on Alabama in the future, but isn't that better? Because the team will be better. So I'm okay with it.
All right, so we'll do more digging on this court case that's happening in Washington right now that's about to change college athletics. We're going to talk to head coach. Oh, let's see. We're going to talk to football players on Thursday. Will it be head coach? Let's see. There to go. Thursday. Yeah, just players. Players. And I don't know if we're going to get Coach DeBoer or not after A-Day on Saturday. It sounded like we will not because they want to sign autographs for you, which is fine. Great. A little less work for me. No problem. So we'll talk to the players on Thursday. We'll observe A-Day on Saturday. We'll keep following Alabama's news, basketball news in the transfer portal, and we'll come up with all kinds of great things to talk about with you guys on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Thanks to everybody who has watched us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. Who's listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon? Go ahead, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Send the show to a friend, and we'll be back tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.